Hello guys, hope you guys are blessed. My name is James. We'll be speaking about how God adds and what he'll do, subtract and multiply. And I'll describe dealing with subtract. A lot of times he allows the enemy to subtract, and I'll explain it with biblical reference here in a second. But God will add. This is the way that God's math works. This is the way of life. So I'll begin to explain it. He adds things kind of like with Job. He had everything, hedge of protection, all that. He subtracts, meaning he allows the enemy to do certain things for our growth in our character. Then he multiplies everything. And we begin to see that with Job. At the end, he had everything. Plus, it was even more than double because the rest of his life was peaceful and he got everything he ever wanted. So inside this, we begin to see remembrance, and God remembers you. And I'll explain that. What happened to with Job? He was there. And the Lord said, have you considered my servant Job? Notice, why did the Lord bring that up to him twice in the first and second chapter? He bragged on Job. He remembered Job. So Job, to get more Job, you had to grow in character. That's what he was saying to Job. So inside this, he adds and then he subtracts. He allows the enemy to subtract. Next thing you know, the enemy said he had accusation. Does Job love God unconditionally? Does he? Or does he not? What's going on dealing with it? Because see, inside these areas, that's usually what Satan tries to do with us Christians. Do we love the Lord unconditionally? Well, take this from them and they'll curse you right to your face. Now notice, Job had some, irritations, but he never cursed God. And he got double for his trouble, and he even got more than that later on. So we begin to see it. Next thing you know, he says, you're allowed to only go so far, that's it. So then it got subtracted. Job lost everything. But yet Job did love the Lord. You see, and we've seen that. So what happens is, then he multiplies, and we see the ending. God remembers you. That's why he goes to multiply it. And first you have to go through a process of subtraction. Why? So you can always remember what the Lord has done for you. You'll have a great dependence on Jesus Christ always. Always. I want to encourage someone never to give up in the Lord. It's always worth it. Doesn't matter what happened. I've had crazy things happen in my life. Crazy. And the Lord has been faithful no matter what. That secret place is everything in the Lord. The Lord is faithful. Hallelujah. And Jesus is definitely worth it. So as he subtracts, as he allows the enemy to subtract, we begin to see if we resist the broken process, we delay the things. But if we don't, we get through it faster. What do I mean by that? Through the subtraction, through the things that are going on, we see our flaws. We see the things that we have to surrender to Jesus. And a lot of times he breaks us down. He allows us to be broken down all the way to the floor. So the only way we can look is up. That's it. Lord, you're the only one that can pull me out. You're faithful. You're great in all things. You're the one that knows everything. I know nothing. So what happens is we come to realization that we are very little and God is a very big God. And we need a very big God to pull us out. And when he pulls us out, we say one thing. We have a great testimony. Jesus Christ is the one who pulled me out. That's what the Lord wants. And a lot of times we see that even with Joseph. Joseph went through many to save many lives. You know how I know that? Because at the end of Genesis, he goes to say, brothers, don't be discouraged. Because the Lord allowed this to happen. He had sent me through this to save many lives. So a lot of times what we go through is to save many lives for the Lord's name's sake. It's for his sake, for his glory. So I encourage you, do not ever give up. Just like with Joseph, when he went, he had everything right here at first with his father. Next thing you know, Joseph would brag on his dreams. He would do certain things. He had to have character building. What happened? The Lord allowed him to go into the pit and begin to go through the process where he depended on the Lord in everything. Next thing you know, once he got through that process, he went from 0 to 100. He was right up there next to Pharaoh. He was equal with Pharaoh. As long as Pharaoh wasn't in the room. If Pharaoh was in the room, he was first. But if not, Joseph was equal with him. So inside this thing, we begin to see it. And if he didn't go through the process, he would never forgiven his brothers and he would have tried to take them out. But the Lord had taught him love. He had taught him who he was. And Joseph went straight up to the top and saved many, many lives for the Lord's name's sake. Hallelujah. So I encourage you today, never give up on the Lord. Always keep going. Always keep going. He is faithful and he is faithful to multiply. In Jesus' mighty name, God bless you.